Hey there, it's Anonymous T, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anything I say is alleged in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some housekeeping items, some meat and potato items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous T. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous T Podcast. Free to follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous T Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram, on the Instagrammies at Anonymous Reality T. Free to share everywhere. Free to hit the like button so it gets out into the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes. And do not forget, whether you are coming or going, to hit the like button. So today we're talking Diddy and Trump, y'all. Diddy and Donald Trump. President Donald Trump, because there's some foolishness going on that frankly we got to talk about. We have got to have a conversation, y'all, because I personally feel a certain type of way. I personally am disgusted. I'm personally just like, what is the point? What is the point of the legal system? What is the point of becoming an attorney? What is the point of going to law school? What is the point of this case, this Diddy case, this SEX trafficking case, these RICO charges, all of these things, if Trump allegedly is considering pardoning Diddy? What am I talking about? What has happened? What is going on now? Well, what is the tea, right? What is the tea? So Trump, who is recently off the heels of pardoning the Chrisleys, they just went home or got released, their kids picked them up or whatever, pardoned Larry Hoover. However, Larry Hoover still has state charges. He still has state charges, so he's basically not going anywhere, right? Other than transferring to a state prison. So he was asked, I guess, Trump, would you consider pardoning Diddy? And Trump was like, well, basically saying to the effect that all options are on the table. He would have to assess if they're treating Diddy good or not in the facilities and in the prison and all this and that, and how he's being treated in prison, and something he could consider. But then he said this. He said before he became president, before he was in politics, he said Diddy used to like him. He said they used to be fun. They used to be friends. They used to hang out. I think Donald Trump may have been at some of these parties, right? And so they used to be cool. But then he said once Trump got into politics, he heard that Diddy was making quote unquote nasty comments about him, inappropriate comments about him or whatever else, and all that. So he would have to look at the situation, a little bit different and see what that's about. So it sounds like money talks, BS walks, number one. Number two, it sounds like that depending on, how recent of a relationship Diddy and Trump have had, because according to Trump, it's been years, is really going to be the decision factor on whether or not he would consider pardoning Diddy. And I just feel a certain type of way. Like while we're at it, why not just pardon R. Kelly too? Isn't he in the federal prison as well? Like I'm just over it, y'all. I'm just over it, because it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we wasting all this time for this case, this trial, everything the government put together, everything that, the prosecution put together to try this RICO case against Diddy? All the trauma that all the victims are because they all had to be subpoenaed, right? Cassie had to be subpoenaed. These former assistants had to be subpoenaed. All these people had to be subpoenaed to, testify in this case, right? So nonetheless, they have to go and relive this trauma that they experienced, whether it was as Diddy's, girlfriend, as Diddy's assistant, as Diddy's bodyguard, whoever, right? Or as somebody who was trying to date Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Everybody was catching heat. Everybody was catching the smoke, literally. And all these things. They're having to relive and recount all of these things that have happened on the stand. Everybody is covering this Diddy case. This is worldwide. everybody is getting into all the gory details about these freak-offs, what all entailed, all the baby oil, all the Astroglide you can provide, all the escorts, all the SAX workers, their names, their information released to the masses forever, like just all of this information, y'all. All of this being put on Front Street, all of this being put on display for us to consume, for us to talk about, for us to react to, all for Trump to basically say, I might just pardon this. I might just pardon this ninja and it'll be what it'll be. The blacks can't hate me forever. The blacks can't hate me. I pardoned, what was it, NBA Youngboy the other day? I pardoned Larry Hoover, even though Larry Hoover's not going, he still will be in jail when it's all said and done. Let me pardon Diddy too. Let me pardon R. Kelly, right? And then I'm back in with the black community, right? No. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing, because I saw for weeks people were trying to push the narrative that the government didn't have anything on Diddy, that this was all a scheme, that this was all a setup, that it was all of these things, right? That's what people were trying to push, right? Because they wanted to run with the conspiracy. Oh, they're just trying to take another black man down. They're just trying to take another celebrity down and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And why do they only attack the black celebrities? Even though they got Harvey Weinstein up out of here, they got Jeffrey Epstein up out of here, they do get to the white celebrities too, right? But none of the less, it's just like, what is the point? What is the point of getting an education? What is the point of going to law school? What is the point of passing the LSAT? What is the point of, becoming a practicing attorney? What is the point of being on these high profile cases, such as the Diddy trial, such as the Diddy case? You spent hours upon end to put together this case, to put together the investigations, to put together the seizures, to put together all these things and ultimately arrest Diddy. What is the point if at the conclusion of this trial and Diddy is found guilty and they decide to sentence him for however many years, Trump just comes in and is like, well, let me sign this executive order. Here it go, y'all. Here it go. Put me on camera. Is my camera on? Is my camera on? Put me on camera. Let me sign this executive order that pardons Diddy, aka Sean Diddy Combs, aka Brother Love, aka Puffy, aka Take That, aka Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and all of the things. And it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Where is the justice? And this is why victims are always afraid to come forward, especially against high profile people, because they feel like ultimately there will be a will or a way that these billionaires can essentially get away with it, whether they buy themselves out of jail, whether people allegedly are, threatened or whatever else. And then it shies them away from wanting to come forward. They start to lie. They start to change their story. They start to say, I don't know what happened, or I don't remember what happened. And they keep this secret for decades, for years upon years, because they don't want to come up missing. They don't want to come up unalived. And these are the reasons, you guys. What is the point if Trump is just going to sign an order and say, free Puffy, free Diddy? And it's like, I'm just disturbed. I mean, I could see at least if Diddy was like, let me just take this plea deal. I think it was, a 5-year plea deal he was offered. So nonetheless, he's done about a year in prison anyways, right? So he would have 4 more years to go, and everything else. But it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. And you guys, those of you who wanted to vote for Trump, like Tasha K and others, and y'all voted for a troll to be a president once again. Y'all voted for a reality star to be a president once again, who does not care about, what is right and what is wrong,
cares about how much you like him or not. If you ever talk bad about him or not is going to depend on how he's going to treat you. And it's not based off of the justice system. It's not based off of whether you did anything legal or illegal, because y'all hired somebody who has already been convicted as a convicted felon of multiple counts. Y'all hired a convicted felon. Y'all only have a problem with convicted felons is if it's black. If it's a black man, y'all have a problem with the convicted felon. But y'all don't have a problem with the convicted felon if it's Donald Trump, right? So nonetheless, all this stuff happens, and what are we going to do from here? What are we going to do from here as it pertains to if he actually pardons Diddy? And all of this, even if Diddy walks, we're never going to forget these testimonies. We're never going to forget these stories. And I'm sure there's already been, hundreds of documentaries already on Diddy, but you can't tell me somebody's not going to put together a movie or a series after what took place this trial, because this trial was just out of order in terms of all of the salacious details that came out from these witnesses and everything that was extracted from these attorneys, y'all. But for him to just say, hey, I might pardon him when it's all said and done. I'll have to assess how he's treated me since I've become into politics and everything else. And he's treated me a little bit differently. He's made some nasty comments since I've been in politics. Like, that's going to be the determining factor. Just miss me with the nonsense. Just miss me with the BS. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.